Hi everybody, welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week and some of the ones that we missed. Also, we're going to have the results of a giveaway. I got to get that up right now so I don't forget. This is a giveaway that you didn't know about. It's just something that my patrons are doing for themselves because they like each other, but they wanted me to randomize it and they said do it publicly so that people have a reason to support you. And I said, well, there's no reason to support me, so that'll never work. But if you do like coverage where I take the time to read through every single rulebook and try to distill the mechanics and mechanisms, and you have a couple bucks to throw my way, I'm always super appreciative of that. Like I am super appreciative to these people right now. We've got a lot of people to thank because I've been away for a couple I was going to say a couple years. I've been away for a couple years, and so I'm finally getting back on these shout-outs. No, I want to give a huge shout-out to Sapphire, to Joe, to Guillaume. Thank you for jumping on board. Thank you to David for the one-time donation. Thank you to Sean for sticking around and upping the pledge. It's way too generous. Thank you so much to everybody. And thank you to Hellpet. Because if you want an actual giveaway, you want to join the Patreon and see that it's, you know, just a fun, great community where people can hang out with. Hellpet, who I found out through the Discord that we share a birthday. Happy birthday, Hellpet. Also bought a gift giveaway to Patreon as well. So if you're not a patron and you wanted to sign up for it, or you wanted to join the Discord or whatever, I have a gift sub to give out. So I'll do a drawing for that next week. Sure. And we'll make the code word something silly, obviously. Let's make the code word scrumptious. If you use the word scrumptious down below, that's what I'm going to filter out for. The word scrumptious. And if you're the funniest one that I see, I'm going to give you 2 entries. Maybe. I'm probably going to forget. Oh yeah, I got to do it in a cool way. Do this in a cool way. Okay. I gotta remember to do that. Anyway, thanks to Hellpet for that scrumptious little giveaway, and we'll do the other giveaway for Tidal Blades 2 for everybody who entered on the Discord. Sorry that I forgot to do a Patreon post about it. It just came up during the voting because my community freaking rocks. So we're gonna do that at the end. And I have this whole episode to figure out how to make it cool. Oh no, I don't know how to make it cool. All right, but we're gonna get started this week with something that I missed. I missed it a couple weeks ago. This was Dragons Down. It's an adventure game inspired by the classic game Magic Realm, in stock at www.mrbgames. Okay, it's in stock right now, $175 Canadian. This edition has chips, unweighted playmats, scraps. Is this the one? No, that one was finished. That finished on 2023. Let's look and see. There must have been a reprint then, eh? I think that's what people were talking about. Maybe not. Somebody said Dragons Down, but that finished in 2023. Isn't that what they said? Nah, I gotta go check. I think I missed it in this one. But curious what you thought of Dragons Down. Apparently you didn't. Was it on GameFound? Maybe it was on GameFound. Dragons Down, GameFound. Dragons Down, Natives and Legends, plus a reprint, right? This is the one. This is the one. All right, Natives and Legends, Past Backers, Legend All In, Natives Basics. Okay, this is the one. See, I knew I missed something, and I appreciate you all telling me. Okay, let's check it out. Dragons Down, Natives and Legends. So we're going to look at what Dragons Down is, because I clearly missed it. I must have missed it. 2023, I should have covered this. Did I ever cover this? I don't think I did. Oh, I also need to check the $1 pre-pledges while I'm at it. Dragons Down was in 2023. Dragons Down, I did cover it. Haha! Okay, I don't really remember it, but I'm gonna go see what Chris of the Past thought about it. Oh, in the 2-hour, that was Wondrous Creatures, so look at that. And Critter Kitchen, the 2-hour Crowdfunding Countdown, one of the biggest ones ever. And clearly, I'm still the same person because I thought of the same song. Oh, mama, 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 I just shot a dragon down. Okay. Well, I was very lackluster in it, so that makes sense. So Dragons Down, from what Chris of the Past said, is it's a big old sort of sandbox. They're using poker chips like the Elder Scrolls. You are going to get like a half and half character like Elder Scrolls, but it's more of a sandbox style game, right? You're going to be exploring with these tiles. Oh, that's nice. It's easier to view this time. You're going to set up some tiles. You're going to go out and explore these as well. You'll pick your lineage and your class cards. And you can generally hire people to help you out, some NPCs to help you out. And so that's what this new pledge brings in, are all new natives that move around the land who can be hired by the heroes. Oh, these are large map tiles, because you need to be able to put the chips on them, right, as they go into different spots. But this is how you combine your stuff. The Human Sorcerer, like Elder Scrolls does it. You can do 4 actions a turn, and your actions are fairly standard of moving, moving to different places, swapping your weapons in and out, searching for both treasure or hidden paths, which you can extend additional movement options on the map, looting the dice, learning your spells, trading with each other, or exploring to flip over new stuff at the end of the map. Basically, as you wander this map, though, monsters will appear, and you'll have to fight them. You can try to evade them with brown speed cubes, and then you can just run away. Run away! You'll generally roll dice for either or if you're attacking monsters or they're attacking you, and you decide how much you will attack based upon a cube system where you'll add cubes to your box and you'll kind of reveal them all at the same time. So in case you're fighting each other, I guess. Yeah, it seems all right. It is expensive. It's like 175 Canadian, which is what it was in the or when we went to buy it, because you can purchase the regular thing. So you can purchase this now. The new content doesn't seem to add any new variability. Like, I say variability in terms of like massive rule shifts. It feels like it's still the same game as the existing. They just added a couple new classes and a few new monsters, new things to interact with. So more if you're a fan. If you're not, it's not going to change your experience. It raised 185,000, so you can go check it out. You can still check it out. I see, again, with the chips, the exploring, the multi-classes, I see a lot of parallels to Elder Scrolls, and having played other Elder Scrolls in, like, when it was just around and getting ready to receive Elder Scrolls, thanks to lovely, generous people. I mean, it's Hextra. It's Hextra. Can't stop giving things away. I don't see any particular draw here, just based around what else is out there. But it's cool. I like that more people are using chips for these dungeon crawlers. I think that's really cool. And I think that's great because you can share so many more statuses and like information without having you consult something else in the background. So yeah. Check it out. That's already finished, but of course there can be late pledges as well. Moving along, we've got Eternal Nightmare. Unleash the Darkness. Delve into the depths of horror, race to escape the nightmare in this fun, horror-themed board game, and may all your screams come true. Outwit, outplay, outscare. Okay, anything that uses the Survivor tagline gets me hyped. Let's see. Well, it's got roll and move as the mechanism, which isn't that exciting. To me, you basically roll 2 dice, you move around the board, navigating a treacherous board. No, you roll the dice and you land on a square and you draw a card and see what the square is. I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna look at these rules to see. Be the last surviving player. Talisman purchase from the keeper for 5,000 cursed notes. Shuffle the trivia, dreadful destiny, and monstrous encounter cards, right? So there's a trivia thing that you gotta do. If you get it correctly, or you can roll a single dice, and the highest score is the winner. Unfortunately, this doesn't seem like it's interesting at all, especially compared to what modern board games are doing. This feels very dated in design, in that there is no strategy. You just roll the dice and see what happens. But if you're interested in that, it finishes February 12th at 8:42 a.m. Moving along, we've got the South Tigris Trilogy expansion. All right, I'm not going to touch on this too much. I mean, I guess I can see. I've played Scholars of the South Tigris, so I'll know how that sort of implements. But we have the South Tigris Trilogy expansions, 1 expansion for each South Tigris game, plus the Moon Saga campaign expansion. Moon Saga was something that they generally do for all 3 games. I think they did it with the North Sea and maybe West Kingdom. They have something that unifies all of them, so if you have all of them, you can get them. Generally, I love this because they always put this right at the top, so if you want to support Garphill Games, you can purchase at your local store. They say this is the reason why you can back to save on shipping by picking up multiple expansions at the same time. Receive your expansions before they come to retail. I think they always have pretty much done that. And buy from a trusted company with a proven track record for delivering projects on time. What I would love to see from Garphill Games is to say, and hey, we get more money if you do it this way. And if they actually do, I think because they have such a loyal following, people would be more inclined to do it. For me, when it's like, receive your expansions before they come to retail, who cares? You'll get them at retail, right? Like, there's no real reason to do it right now at all. But I do love that they just put that right up front. I think that's awesome. I think that's super cool. You can get any of the base games for $49 US if you don't have them. Wayfarers, I don't know how that will implement, but I'm going to look at the Scholars. Scholars Body of Books introduces a new track, a Black Medicine research track, Black Dye, and the concept of publishing books. The expansion brings in more of a focus towards engine building and creating interesting combinations of retired translators and published works. Yeah, so you're collecting these translators as they go through, but once you've used them a certain amount of time, they're gone. Sure. Certainly not needed. It'll add in a little bit of extra variability. You can use your other people, which seems nice. Not really needed. Shipping rates. This is how you can save on shipping. To the US, 28 New Zealand dollars, which is around $23. So that's actually a pretty good shipping rate. Pretty good shipping rate if you like the series and you know you want more. I think you're probably fine. I think the games are robust enough and they seem like they're just getting more complicated and more complicated as it goes on, that you probably won't need the expansions unless you're a super fan. You've been playing it 10, 20, 30 plus times, then sure, you earned it. If you've played it twice, don't get the expansion. Don't do it. Just play the game that you have. And if you need to shake it up that much in order to enjoy it, well, probably not a very good game for you now, is it? That finishes Wednesday, February 12th at 9 p.m. Me trying to continue to be the voice of restraint, even though it's hard. We've got Yomi 2 is up next over on GameFound. It's a fighting game in card form. Learn your character, practice combos, read the opponent's tendencies. It's strategic turn-based card battler that lets you experience the nuances of fighting games like Street Fighter and Fantasy Strike by a lead designer who worked on both. Includes solo, two-player co-op, and two-player competitive modes. And there's a big thing that said, it's Tom Vassel's number 12 game that's getting a new system or a new version. So if that matters to you, well, check it out. I'm going to check it out. Let's see. All right, so it seems like they're adding in an additional way to swap cards from your hand and your discard pile. That's cool. If they all have the same symbol, you can swap them out, and that can potentially give you more combos. This is the gameplay. Choose your character and your gem. Character, your gem. Each gem gives you different special moves and abilities, as well as a once per game gem store that can turn the tides in your favor. So you can see this red looks like it'd be the red gem. This is reminding me of Universus because things have to be blocked high or blocked low. You can build up your super meter that you can spend on powerful super moves. There's this solo table, which essentially will show how much stronger your opponents are getting over the course of the time. Oh, 12th game of all time back in 2011. Hasn't stuck around, has it? Read the rulebook. Yes, please. Sure. Versus mode rulebook. Let's try that one, I guess. If that's the one that I would be the most interested in. Oh, it's rock, paper, scissors. Attacks beat throws. Throws beat blocks and dodges. Blocks and dodges beat attacks. Each time you chain something together, A to B, you get a super meter. You can shuffle your discard once per game. If you run it a second time, the game ends. That's the timer. These are the super moves. Seems like it's pretty easy to build up a super meter, though. Each gem is 5 cards, so essentially that's how you're going to smash them together. You also get like an asymmetric ability. I guess there will be some tracking of what your opponent has played, like what blocks your opponent has played, but this idea of like, hey, play a card face down and your opponent plays something face down. Are we going high or are we going low? That doesn't seem like it's going to be that interesting to me. I'm sure that there's a little bit more than that, but it's just this rock, paper, scissors mechanic, and then a deciding how you're going to block and dodge. Strikes and projectiles, there's a speed thing. It just feels like there's a lot of like, hey, you did this hit, and I don't quite see where the strategy comes in. I'm sure there is. It just seems a little bit random, but probably doesn't overstay its welcome. So how... Oh, my God. Did you catch that? That was a real me choking on my own spit. That this gameplay all in is $225, 330 Canadian. Are you kidding me? Just get a novice set for 25 to see if you like it. This has been pledged 456 times, and I hope to God that this has been pledged by people who love the original game. If you pledge this and you haven't played it before, you have a serious problem, because there's nothing in this campaign that should make anybody who has never played this game before pledge for an all-in. Zero, zip, nada, nothing. There's no redeeming quality. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's just okay. Don't do it. Oh my God. That literally almost made me choke. Man, I gotta move on. I can't even see what's the shipping. All in 27. Yeah, that's probably fine. $13 is $38 for a starter set. If that is subsidized enough for you for a 2-player card game, you can check it out. That finishes on the 13th, early in the morning at 2:59 a.m. Next up, just briefly, we've got another episode of LEWD Dungeon Adventures, which is a must-have dating sim for this TTRPG for couples. Expands on Hadelweiss, opening trading opportunities between adventures. Well, there you go. I thought that LEWD has been sort of well rated in terms of the adult role-playing game for couples, which I think is funny. I think it's very funny if role play as Gimbal or Gimbella, the Gnome Warriors. You do you. I love that for you. I love it for you. Oh, the city of Hadel. I'm sure it's Hadel, but we're going to call it Hadel. And there's 3 different versions. We have the sexy version, the drinking version, and the base version. While I know all of you fans out there are saying, but what will I do with my Spicify? Don't worry, maybe you can combo your favorite Fabio sex game with some tabletop RPG. I don't know. I think it's done well. It's done well, and it consistently raises a lot of money. So if that's your kink, I ain't gonna kink shame you. I love that for you. The finish is Thursday, February 13th at 11 a.m. Should have finished on the 14th. We're going to move on to this one, Spy Network, which is not a large funding goal, so I imagine that this is probably bad, but or maybe it doesn't even exist. Oh yeah, it doesn't even exist, for sure. How the game works, here we go. But we're going to check it out. A game of secrets, strategy, and high-stakes espionage. Oh, that's cool. When we first launched the campaign, we started with AI-generated visuals, promising to bring a professional graphic designer on board if the campaign was successfully funded. It was, so they've brought somebody on board. You start by picking a location, setting the rules for your movement, using dice roll to decide whether you stay in your current safe house or move to another. Each time you change locations, you create an observation like a clue that will be shared to the analyst. The analyst is to observe the clues and track down the most likely path. The game has some randomness thanks to the dice rolls. It's all about strategy and logic. You see if you can make it as the spy. It's a 53% chance that you'll make it out safely. Sure, I think this actually might be a real game. I was very skeptical that it isn't a real game. I also just think that for especially €35, you should just get Run instead if you're interested in that cat and mouse game. Unfortunately, there's nothing here in that sort of brief description that makes me think it would be that fun to roll dice and see if you've got a 70% chance of going to the next spot, and then you go to the next spot and then you get discovered. That just doesn't seem like it'd be that fun. But it's based on statistical models, so there you go. The finish is Thursday, February 13th at 5:45 p.m. I swear we're going to get to some good games soon. Will this be the time? Well, it's by Queen Games, so maybe. Star Explorer is the next one. Discover constellations in the new game of the Family and Friends line from Queen Games. Oh, the Family and Friends line I think is good, because that was the one with the stuff where they were putting everything in the backpacks and transporting them, and that looked okay. And the price is going to be okay. Yeah, MSRP 40, 29. Okay, here we go. Star Explorer. Explore the stars. In this game, players take on the role of astronomy enthusiasts who stare at the starry skies for hours. Warning, a game will take you hours to accomplish. There's no getting around that. It's just going to happen. It's a real-time game. You can only play it at night during the 6 rounds of the game, or 6 hours. I don't know. One of them. 1 to 4 players will use their boards with rotating maps to mark their star constellation. Oh, I think we looked at this. Right? Dabawala. That's the one I was thinking of. They've acquired the worldwide rights from Lucrum Games. They're producing the game in the Netherlands to ensure sustainability and great quality. Everything's scheduled for printed by end of February, and they'll start shipping in April. That's great. It's going to go to retail. That's great. They've got distribution rights, and I feel like I've seen this. And of course, like every Queen Games Kickstarter, there's always a chance to get the Merlin Big Box. In case you missed it, there will be another chance. Okay, let's look at the rules for this, because I feel like maybe I've covered this before. Cool, so you'll pick a number, a size of star that you're going to add to this map, and then you'll have to plop it in. It's a little like roll and write style game, where you're constantly rotating the map as well over the course of rounds, which will shift things. Seems like a spatial puzzle. Sorry, I just got distracted by the Super Bowl saying that it costs $8 million for a 30-second commercial. I got up my rates. You'll get additional points when you drop your constellation down, depending where it is and what it's next to as well. And so there's that spatial element, that consistent spatial element. As the board gets more and more cramped, you're going to lose points if you can't put stars down, so you may want to keep space for other stars while trying to get the most points, and knowing the general amount or size that you're going to have to fit in later. Seems all right. Seems like you can probably get it, like any of this stuff, at your local game store, but shipping for Star Explorer to the EU, $6. That's pretty good. USA, 12, Canada, 15. No. Especially when it's larger than the MSRP, you should just wait and get the MSRP, right? There are too many times where we think, and I've felt myself going to this realm as well, that Kickstarter is the only way. And in fact, it isn't. In fact, it's arguably the worst way, unless they give you a real reason why you should back it. And unfortunately, this looks fine. Didn't get a real reason to do it. But if you're interested, that finishes Thursday, February 13th at 5:44 p.m. Moving along to this one, Baghdad, the City of Peace. Explore the golden age of Baghdad in this rondel placement advanced Euro game designed by Fabio Lopiano and Nestor Mangone. That's cool. Oh, Alley Cat Games. Yeah, they've done a bunch. I remember, I'm excited about this because one of my patrons, shout out to Franco, posted in our Discord about it saying, got a chance to play test it on TTS a couple months ago, really enjoyed it. The gameplay involves taking actions that include multiple considerations. Every turn you play a card into a sliding tableau where the last card falls off and you activate a special ability or score endgame bonus, but only if you met the requirement for the card by the time it slides off. So it's got this timing, this consistent timing of like sliding these cards off, which reminds me of Emberleaf, but maybe very different. Well, I was muted a bit. I'm not sure how long I was muted for, but I was just reading through the rules. Again, I agree with that. Probably muted since I watched the video. Dang. Okay, well, I have to show a few more things then. See these symbols up top here? Those are the symbols that will correspond to your worker spots and where you can slot your buildings in. You have to have those symbols available before you slot the tiles into your board. You also need to slot a number of tiles into your board in order to get the most points. And you'll move around pretty easily in the quadrants. There's a lot of space in these quadrants, so a lot of selection that you can take from. Doesn't feel like it would be too blocked out, but it seems cool. The focus should be, if you like that idea of that ticking clock, that as soon as you place a worker, it'll be shifting along and comboing things together as you do the circling around in this rondel and the rondel of cards, and using symbols and being focused all around those symbols and like building up new symbols. In addition, every time something gets pushed out, you can activate the bottom element, which will give you points if you've achieved that objective as well. So it definitely seems cool. Nice, lots of combos, lots of things to think about, and lots of pre-planning and planning ahead that you'd need to look at. I hope I covered everything that I didn't say when I was muted, or that I said when I was muted. That finishes Thursday, February 13th at 6:50 p.m. We're going to move on to this one, which is doing immensely well. This is called A Place for All My Books, a cozy board game about collecting good books and the joy of organizing them. You're going to take your time collecting as many books as you can, then you're going to use that energy to go and buy more books so that you can organize. It's just replace books with board games, and that's all of your lives, and mine as well. But let's check this out and see what it's like. I think it's very funny that it revolves around building up your social battery so that you can actually leave the house and go get some more books. And I also, you're filled with strength and conviction and satisfaction and calmness from seeing these stacks of books that you have on your floor. And specifically, you're making stacks of books. It's like, not, they don't say put it on the library. You didn't put it on the shelf. Your shelves are full. You're making stacks of books in every room, and you're going, yeah, that's a nice stack of books. Now more books, which I know it's all your board games as well. That seems very cute. It's by our friends over at Smirk and Dagger. They've made some hits in the past. Some perfect hits. Some signed copies of The Night Cage might say. I think this is adorable. I think this is so cute. Cute. The box is a big old magnetic book. Get a bunch of wooden books. It's $50, or it'll be, the standard edition will be $35. So don't get the standard edition right now. We'll receive 4 free Kickstarter exclusive bookmarks. Well, I guess that's kind of cute, honestly. If that's worth the shipping to you, you can do it. But I just feel like it'll be cheaper at retail, this standard edition that everybody can see. I'm very surprised that 1,700 people have purchased that. I don't think you should. I think the real reason to get it is this deluxe edition, which will be harder to find. The bookcase edition, the main shift being the gold foil cover art and the specific meeples versus the generic meeples. Careful, they're using the word meeple. Hans and Gluck better watch out. Oh my god. Penelope ever ready with her extrovert superpowers. Penelope never needs to go home and recharge her social battery. You disgust me, Penelope. Oh, you're not one of us. Okay, I need to read the rulebooks because it seems very generic right now with the overview, and I want to see what the actual mechanisms of the game are. It seems like you're picking up your books. There's going to be a sort of pick up and drop Mancala style of rearranging your own personal books in your own supply. There's a market where you can swap things out, but I need to see more specifics, and I need this to load. Canadian shipping is $22, so it's going to be $100 if you wanted this. I think this is a wait till retail situation for sure. Okay, so on your turn, you start in your apartment, you take an action in your apartment. Then when you get the strength to go outside, you can take an action in the village. Here are the actions. Gather social battery. Take the top book from up to 6 different stacks. Place these as a stack on any one space. Oh, so you're just taking the top from anywhere. Okay, so the placement doesn't really matter. Sort, pick up a stack of books, distribute them the top of any stacks or empty spaces. So either you're dealing with stuff on the top of the stacks, or you're dealing with a single stack itself to shift things around. Once you've plopped things down, you can admire. You can admire multiple little projects at once. Just little projects, these are objectives that you're getting. You can draw new projects, or you can read a book, which is just one thing. Move one thing anywhere. Or you can leave the house if you pay on your social battery. Oh, that's kind of cool. Is that you're charging up your social battery to leave, to take action, so you don't want to leave too soon, because every time you leave the house, it costs you 5 on the social battery. That's basically how you get books of a specific color. Ooh, or you can special abilities. Yeah, this seems cute. A little cute abstract game of shifting things around. I think the theme is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. I think it seems okay. I think the theme seems better than the game. But just shifting those books around, taking everything off the top of a stack, making sure that you have enough and are getting the right assortment. You might run into a point where you need to shift some things around, constantly completing those little goals and objectives by shifting your existing books about and getting more and more books. I think this could be interesting for some people. Again, for me, it would just be definitely a wait until retail sort of thing. I imagined myself and my own tastes thinking that this was fine. The abstract seems fine. The shifting of stuff around seems cool. My favorite part is the idea of when do you leave the house, which in my case is once a week for curling. But yeah, I think that's cool that it's done so well. Way to go, Smirk and Dagger. That finishes Thursday, February 13th at 7 p.m. We're going to move on to this one, Twinkle Twinkle, Merchants of Andromeda, and Waddle. Waddle from, who's this by? Who is this by? Don't quite remember who made this. Looks like it could have been BoardGameTables.com. Sorry, All Play. So I've seen Twinkle Twinkle. I know some people are getting excited about Waddle. I don't know what Merchants Andromeda is about, so I'm going to watch this and we're going to take a quick peek. But all 3 of these should be pretty easy to describe because they're games from BoardGameTables.com. Sorry, All Play. Their sort of mandate is to have accessible games. All right, and Merchants of Andromeda, I was going to say Andromeda's Edge, looks like a little Mario Party style game, but we're going to talk about Twinkle Twinkle first, because that will be why it comes up. Oh, here's an important thing though. We're going to talk about this before we do anything. You can back now, you can always get a bundle deal for $97. You get a 3-game bundle. The bundle just gives you these little additional expansions and these extra bonus bits that don't matter for anything. But they also give you this unique all-play medallion code. And apparently, I used to think that this code could be used for any game. They're like, yeah, we'll throw in any one of our small box games. And you could just be like, great, I want mountain goats. I want lure, whatever. But apparently, these discs, and it's important to know this, these discs are only valid for certain small box games. So if there's the ones that you want, great, but they may not be the ones that you want. I always thought that they were, and I think a lot of backers got upset about that. I remember seeing that in some comments. So that's important to pay attention to, because I don't like it when I'm mad about things. If you go to conventions as well, you should probably never buy these here. You should probably just wait and get them at the All Play booth at conventions. So Twinkle Twinkle, I remember watching Alex and Meg play a game of Twinkle Twinkle at PAX, not this year, but last year, like last year, 2 years ago. And you're going to take tiles King Domino style. You'll see what's up next, and then you'll decide what tiles you take. You will take this and then put it on your own board, orienting it however you want, and you'll try to score the most points. I think the draw here is that the tiles are see-through. They're acrylic, they're see-through, and they make you feel good to play with them. Is it the most strategically in-depth game? No. It's by the designer of Gnome Hollow, and Gnome Hollow, for me, when I played it like the first few times, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And then I played it again, I was like, oh man, the strategic choices that are presented don't really seem like strategic choices to the fullest extent. And you still like it, you still like the game, it's still fun to play, but if you're looking for a strategy game or something that will really last a long time, I also don't feel like Twinkle Twinkle is it. I thought Gnome Hollow would be it more, and it wasn't. So that's what's kind of affecting my opinion of that. The expansion just adds in some extra tiles, some small tiles. Ugh, I hate this. Change the number of setups from 32 to 8,064. Yeah, because there's just a number of different scoring conditions. I hate it. But yeah, seems all right. And you can play it on Board Game Arena. So there you go. Let's look at Merchants of Andromeda and see what the little mini games you have. On your turn, you'll draw 3 cards, choosing to discard, keep, or auction them. Use a timer. The longer the clock ticks down, the cheaper you'll pay. Careful, as soon as somebody bids, the auction ends. It's tense. Cool. I like Dutch auctions. I think those are fun. Through these cards, you'll manipulate the market, play intergalactic minigames, and resolve universe-altering events. You win by having the most money. Yeah, that's important, especially because you don't want to pay for things in the auction. I like this draw one at a time decision-making process. Biblios has this as well, and I think that's pretty cool. Having this as an app feels like it'd be very fun to implement. Just holding. Who's gonna pull their hand off first? Who's gonna do it? Ah! That's really cool. That's fun. See a draft rulebook. Yeah, I want to see what the minigames are. Anyway, when minigames were said, I was thinking Mario Party, but it's just a number of different places to put your influence token. And so you're vying for first place in all of these different sectors. Yeah, sure, seems all right. I think what you're doing doesn't really matter. The small little games, they're all going to be simple-ish. They're get this far up on a track or flip over stuff and don't stop. Make sure that there's a first, a second, and a third place, right? And so the real draw there for me is that idea of the Dutch auction and how the influence cards will feel towards the gameplay itself. That's neat. And then we have Waddle. Strategically place your penguins to form groups and claim fish. The board fills up quickly. Whoever has the most penguins around a lake claims all the fish. That makes sense. You can always pass as well, and you got this silly little marble score tracker so that you can go first. Score waddles and claim fish to win. Right, see, that's a big old lake. Oh, you're also scoring waddles, eh? So you're scoring your largest group. Cool, because like group of 2, group of 6. The little mini expansion, again, it's just going to give the tiniest 5% hint of variability. Yeah, the medallions will be redeemable for an upcoming tiny game. What game is that? You don't know, nor do you know if you'll like it. I think it's a bad idea to do this bundle, unless all of these sound good to you. I think Waddle does sound the most interesting to me. I think it's Waddle, then Merchants of Andromeda, and then Twinkle Twinkle for my money and for my mind. The shipping on all play stuff is always great. So yeah, not the best all play bundle that I've ever seen, but if you're interested, the finish is Thursday, February 13th at 11 p.m. Nothing has really excited me this week, but will Deckay be the one to do it? I doubt it. Deckay is a multiplayer action card game. I like games, I swear. I just like good games. I like great games, like exceptional games, and I don't think you should spend your money on just good games, even though lots of people will tell you to do so. Probably myself included, but no, I'll tell you to spend your money on great games. But we're going to look at this one, Deckay. It's a multiplayer action card game where you can challenge your friends anywhere, prove who's the leader of the city. I was hanging out with Zach the other day, and what were we playing? We were playing Anachrony, and he was like, I'm going to be the warlord of this city. And I was like, you know what? In a post-apocalyptic world, you 100% would become the warlord just because you would be zany enough that people would follow you immediately. You would have so many minions, and he would thrive. So will Zach love this game? I don't know. We're going to find out. All right, that doesn't tell me much about it. Craft equipment, strategize. 2 to 6 players, got a big old deck of cards. Choose your favorite character. They all have an asymmetric ability. Choose your faction. So you're collecting weapons and material to create more weapons that you're going to throw at each other. 100 cards, €23. I hate all of this that doesn't tell me anything about the game. It's like, this will magnificently magnify your strategy with ultimate strategic purposes. Yeah, add these cards to your base cards, but they're in the base game and they're just the actual action cards of the game, but add them in because we're finally going to get your base cards for the ultimate strategery. Doesn't tell you anything. Doesn't tell you anything. So you can play a team mode, you can play free-for-all. Everybody has a certain number of life points. It's like bang, the distance that you can shoot depends on where you're carrying. So it's bang, okay? And you're just going to shoot each other over and over. Just a big old take that fest, I think? Yeah, just get a bunch of random cards, take that fest. I'm sorry, Deckay. I mean, I'm happy for you that it's been funded. I don't know how, but I'm thrilled that it has. Doesn't interest me. But, different stabs for different folks. Moving along, we're going to look at this one. Geisha the Silent Assassin. Geisha the Silent Assassin is a solo role-playing game set in feudal Japan. You play a geisha. A hostess sent on a secret mission to the kingdom of Sengoku. You'll stay within the compound and take out several important figures while going about your duty. The game requires 6-sided dice to play. That's kind of neat, a little solo RPG. I'm always interested by solo RPGs. That's great. Yeah, it really told me a lot about the game. Great job. Like, seriously, I don't understand how some things fun. I want to read a sample. Do you send the medical staff in to help the injured enemy? Yes, you gain 52 new soldiers. No, the villagers and your own army respects you a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more? Is there a condition? Is there a keyword that's going to affect something later on down the line? I don't think so. And also, those were cheaper on Amazon, so just wait until it's done. Dang, that got me so excited, and then we have this. Anyway, if you're interested in that, that's on the 16th. We're going to keep on moving. We don't really have anything. Was there anything good this week? Maybe Baghdad. I think this might be a no-pick week, and I just really am upset about that. Grail Games 2025 Pocket Game Collection. 3 fantastic titles to kickstart a new line of small games. You don't need to break the bank to bring a ton of fun to your table. That's what I like to hear, Grail Games. Each game is easy to learn, small, and fun. Tango, Fjords, and Farmhand. I believe I remember this. I remember when they did a lot of these. Cheap in a small box. Tango's $13. Whoa, $12 Canadian. Here we go. Let's see these pocket games. Come on, baby. 8 centimeters by 12 centimeters. Those are pocket. Ooh, those are small. Just like a small deck of cards. So they've taken a larger deck of cards and they've made it into the small ones. Wow, cool. Yeah, Farmhand is new, which is a trick-taking game of prediction and detection. They'll know the suits of the cards in their opponent's hands, but not their values. Cool, so you'll see the backs of them. I feel like that was in another one as well that I remember. But like any good trick-taking game, you have to bid on the amount of tricks that you're going to win. Twist being you'll know the suits. Oh, if they match exactly, they score points equal to the current round. Neat. Okay, that seems fun. Small Fjords. Tile-laying area control. Calming. Just think tack. Tile-laying game that takes place in 2 phases. The first one invites the players to explore the fjords around them by laying hexagonal landscape tiles, creating a map that serves as a game board. The second phase, beginning from the longhouses they place during phase 1, will walk the landscape, claiming as much as they can. Okay, so we'll be putting things out. Okay, do you want to see that? It kind of reminds me a bit of Blue Lagoon then. Cool, so when you place the tile, you can place your longhouse as you're putting it. And then you will expand from there. Scoring points for where you're at. Yeah, I think that sounds great. I think it sounds definitely great for 15. That's awesome. And then we have Tango, which I remember, because it's a trick-taking game for 2 players. I don't think there's a rulebook for Tango, but it's very simple. You are playing two-handed. You have a hand of cards that's face up in front of you, and you have your own hand of cards that's secret. But some of the stuff that's face up in front of you also is secret as well. So it's like half and half. You're playing 2 hands. I play 1, you play 1, then I play my board, you play your board, you win tricks, you want to win the most tricks, done. Yeah, I thought it looked like a fine little quick trick-taking game if you're in the market for it. $8 US feels very nice, you know, and then you get to the shipping costs, which are $13 US for 3 games, so you want to probably do a bundle. 18 Canadian to get to Canada, so if I wanted one of these games, it's still like $33. Not the best, but not the worst. Honestly, our best fare so far. I think Fjords looks the most interesting. Then Farmhand, then Tango, which is surprising because I remember me being more excited about Tango previously, but it seems a little bit less exciting than my remembrance. But if you're interested in that, it finishes it finishes Monday, February 17th at 10:29 a.m. Moving along to Persuasion, a Jane Austen game of bringing 2 lovers back together again. I believe I clicked on this because oh no, I don't want to contact you. I just want to shout at my screen. Oh yeah, because I thought that Pride and Prejudice out of Roll and Rights was interesting. So I was like, maybe this will be a similarly interesting. I don't know, it's a print and play clearly. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's cute enough. I mean, you're gonna roll 3 dice. 1 can be attributed to Frederick, 1 can be attributed to Anne. There's gonna be a bunch of little mini games, places where you can add values in, you can rush to the end or not. If you like print and plays or roll and writes, you can check it out. I like these Jane Austen themes. I do. I think they're cute. This idea of, I've never read Persuasion, but apparently Anne and Frederick were together and then they separated and had an adventure and came back together. So cute little story and a little simple choose a value, make it work with the series of restrictions as you go on trying to hit a number of different conditions for both Anne and Frederick. Okay, this is our last one. This is the last one that we have this week, and then there's one more, but it's not a board game. This is Aventuria, the adventure board game, Chalices of Power and Curse of the Desert. Aventuria lets you experience exciting adventures in the world of the Dark Eye. Uh-oh. Your heroes work together to help each other in the fight against numerous adversaries. Funded in 8 minutes. How are you doing? Well, it's done a lot. 387,000 euro. 100,000? Yeah. Let's check this one out. Cool, I love when videos tell me nothing and just waste my time. Oh, key changes from 1.0 to 2.0, so this existed before, that's nice. How to play, I like that it's closer to the top. Choose your hero, trust the dice, and rely on your abilities when the dice roll to overcome challenges. Throw yourself into battle, draw your cards, and unleash the power. Play mighty cards, support your friends, deal devastating blows yourself. Use spells, weapons, and equipment to claim victory. When the battle is fought and the adventure is over, you level up, become stronger, improve your cards, and plunge into the next adventure with renewed vigor. Epic campaign game. 2 campaign books, 50 pages each. Okay, for this tutorial, you're going to have 5 action cards, 4 endurance cards, so they're just face down cards, or just a tracker. You pick your hero. Seems very choose your own adventure like, right? Decide whether to charge into the villa to surprise the goblins or sneak up carefully. Well, you should sneak up carefully. Oh, but then there's elapsed time. Oh no. And then you continue another way. Climb on the upper floor, search the wall, then upper floor, you're going to be drawing fate cards to do a lot of these things until finally you reach combat. What's that like? So the endurance, they're not your life points, they're essentially your action points. You exhaust a certain number of them in order to do your own attacks. Whenever the attack is successful, you roll a d6. It seems very simple. Just reading a fun little adventure text. You find a hidden door to a secret room. When you open it, a giant figure staggers out of the darkness. You want my drinking horn? The drunken ogre slurs. Then come and get it. Ogre picks up a table, begins to lash out with it. Remove the hero action, where's the horn card, and place the card Ark, the ogre, on the leader's face. Once you place a number of damage tokens equal to Ark's health, you eliminate him. Then you reveal the following text. This just seems like very simple. It's choose your own adventure style. You'll have some cards that can modify things, like these attack 1d6, etc. But you have to exhaust endurance points to do these things. Make sure that you hit the checks. There will be a fate deck that's just a bunch of random events. It certainly does not seem strategic whatsoever, but could be a fun romp. And 40 for this Curse of the Desert, the solo box, Curse of the Desert. I mean, 80 is too expensive for what this is, I think. Doesn't seem really interesting at all. I don't know what to tell you. How many backers are wrong? 1,882? I'd say so. But if you're interested in that, I guess you can check it out. That finishes on the 18th. That is next Tuesday, the 18th at 12 p.m. And also finishing there, there's Mr. Meeple, polo shirts and socks for board gamers. You can check out this if you want some polo shirts with some meeples on them. Watch out, Hans and Gluck. Clearly you only targeted one person whatsoever. That's it. Just one thing. If you want to get a pair of socks, it's €9 for the little Meeple sock. Sure, I would be more inclined to the Meeple socks than, ugh, yuck. 5 polos and 5 pairs of socks for $220 Canadian? Nah, you can get 6 shirts, I think, for less than that at Into the AM. And I guarantee you that they're better quality. You won't get the socks though, so there's that. But I just like, why buy any other shirt than Into the AM? Really. And if you do, I'll go to their sale page and you can use the code SlipperyJim for an additional 10% off. It works whatever their sale is, you usually get it. Depends on shipping though. What's the shipping going to be? I'm interested because shipping to Canada. That's what I want to know. North America, 4 to 5 polo shirts, €24. 10 polo shirts, €21. Yeah, I mean, if you've had some Mr. Meeple stuff before, let me know. Because they've done a bunch of stuff before in the past, but I only need one single clothing company ever, and that's Into the AM. So there you go. But that finishes next Tuesday as well. If you're interested, check it out. And that is it. That is it for the week. Now every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I think is the most interesting. And the pick for you being the thing I think if you got, you would regret it the least. Before we do that, I want to build up to it by doing a little crowdfunding grunt down to remind ourselves about the complete and utter trash that came before. No, meh, yeah, no, meh, yeah, no, from left to right, meh, yeah, no, meh. What an underwhelming week. I could maybe come up with a pick for me and a pick for you. I'm going to, but I'm caveating this for future Chris, for my future retrospectives, maybe if we get back to it, then I don't think any of these are going to be good. And I think if I wanted to pick one that's going to be sort of widely okay, I mean, I think the pick for me is Baghdad. Pick for me is Baghdad, mainly because of Franco. So if you want to get mad at somebody, you're going to get mad at Franco instead of... No, but I think it looks good. I like the potential comboing of stuff. I just don't think I would ever get it to the table. So is it a pick for me? I don't think so. I don't think it is. The pick for you, maybe the pick for me is nothing. I don't want to play any of these games. I really don't. The pick for you, I guess, is A Place for All My Books. But I also want to caveat that one as well. Like, I think this will hit over 7 on Board Game Geek once it arrives. I think it'll be completely fine, because I think there's enough of an abstract shifting around that people will enjoy it. I just don't think it looks that interesting. And I think most people are into it because of the theme and don't actually care about the mechanics of it. And the mechanics aren't going to be that satisfying as well. So, I don't know, buyer beware. If you want to pick for me and a pick for you, that's probably what it is. I don't think there's anything really. I think there's nothing. You know what the pick for you, for me is? The pick for me is giving away Tidal Blades 2 in this beautiful list of names. And I have this written, do this in a cool way. So I can remind myself to do this in a super cool way, and the only way that giveaways can be done on this channel, which is a really cool way with lots of explosions and cars and sunglasses. Give me a second. Oh yeah. I was like, I can't see the viewfinder, but that's because I'm too cool, baby. Are you ready? Are you ready to get your explosion on? Oh, and we're gonna have the biggest explosion when we hit this button. Okay, whoever's gonna win, and I'm letting it spin too, so that people don't give me grief that I didn't even do a practice spin. Honestly, I just want to add in a bunch of like explosions under here, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna spin right now. I'm gonna spin right now, and there's gonna be a huge explosion afterwards. We're gonna get those explosions. It's coming around. It's coming around. The person who's gonna win is Tony B. Congratulations, Tony. We may not have been able to at Niagara because I think you were sick or something came up, but hey, congratulations, you have won Hextra's giveaway for Tidal Blades 2, and you'll just pay the shipping yourself. Cue the explosions. You want it cool? Let me tell you about cool. Well, I just Googled explosions on Google, so this is what came up. Yeah, okay, here we go. Right, here's the cool factor. Explosive devices can be carried in a vehicle or by a person, delivered in a package or concealed on the roadside. There are steps you can take to prepare. Before an explosion, build an emergency supply kit. Make it a family emergency plan. Learn how to identify suspicious activity and what to do in case of bomb threats. Now this is cool. If you're inside and able to evacuate, check for fire and other hazards. Stay low if there's smoke. So congratulations to Tony! That was your cool explosion and the cool giveaway reveal. Thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for being here. You know, I thought that would be funnier. I was really laughing to myself when I thought of it as I was searching. I was trying to find a website that would just produce explosions over and over again, but that was better. Thanks everybody for being here. That was Crowdfunding Countdown. We'll see you next week, or we'll see you throughout the week, depending upon what videos we have in store. I think we got the death match, and I'm going to do the level up recap this week. That's my plan. But who knows? Things can change. Thank you for being here. Drop your own thoughts down below. Let me know if I missed anything. Sorry the week was awful. Nothing was exciting. Play the games that you have. So there you go. My name's Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase, but I am looking very cool right now. So look out for me. Oh God, it's so bright.